You're looking at Crooked Esper. He stole the train, leaving everyone behind, and when he ran out of fuel, I called the outlaws on him. I'm going back to rescue my teammates. There they are, Mr. Inutile and Mr. Clueless. I went back to the outpost to sell the outlaws and get some ammo while Mr. Inutile and Mr. Clueless went back to the train. I rode back as fast as I could, knowing that the boys would most likely try funny things with Crooked Esper. And boy, was I right. They were tossing him around like a cheap horse. I couldn't stand by and allow such behavior. Crooked Esper deserved dignity. Night fell, and the boys' malicious intentions finally subsided. Either a threat or a pathetic attempt to buy sympathy from his teammates. Mr. Clueless decided to revive him, either out of fear or something else. But Mr. Inutile wasted no time and left him behind. He regrets reviving Crooked Esper. With Crooked Esper left behind, the boys and I assaulted the town. Just as it was time to leave, we were caught off guard by the sudden return of Crooked Esper. He had no intentions of moving the train, and had to be convinced. Look at that deceitful smile, those twisted ways. Crooked Esper fixed his gaze on me, his eyes brimming with the darkest intentions. Night fell once more, and the air grew thick with the stench of betrayal and bad blood. By dawn, we reached the next outpost, but Crooked Esper did not want to wait. He made a stop, and Mr. Inutile took the bait and got off the train. And as expected, he started treating Mr. Inutile like a toy. He needed a reminder. Dynamite speaks more than words. With no other choice, our crooked friend got the train moving again. Mr. Clueless jumped off to loot the sheriffs, and I pulled out my trusty dynamite. Crooked Esper and his crooked, arrogant ways. Mr. Clueless safely made it back to the train. The next town was here, and Mr. Clueless wasted no time. Knowing that he would most likely die, I decided to stay on the train to protect Mr. Inutile from Crooked Esper. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned, and Mr. Inutile perished without a struggle. Crooked Boy tried to feed me to the zombies, but failed. This is the second time he uses Mum's Robux to revive himself. He tried to stop me from reviving Mr. Inutile. And he almost succeeded. As crooked as he is, he fears my beloved dynamite. Mr. Inutile crawled closer, and I brought him back to life. Mr. Inutile was furious and wanted my dynamite. He vented his anger on the unsuspecting zombies. but I did not want him to die again. It quickly got dark again. With Mr. Inutile and Mr. Clueless still in town, it was for Crooked Esper and me to survive the night. Mr. Inutile suddenly returned, but only to die once more. Crooked Boy did not make it either. Crooked Boy spent more of his mum's money and revived himself. The same tactic didn't work the first 2 times Mr. Crooked. Mr. Clueless finally returned, just as Crooked Boy dramatically attempted to save his own life by driving away. An embarrassing way to die. Crooked Esper revived himself yet again. This time, he was saved by Dawn. He didn't enjoy sharing the train with me. I patiently waited for the boys to come back. Mr. Clueless was taking too long, so I went back. At this point, I didn't know whether Mr. Inutile would drive off without me, but I left him a horse as a guarantee of my return. There he was, with Esper right behind him. They finally arrived in the morning, and it was clear that Crooked Esper and Mr. Clueless were now a couple. Mr. Inutile followed them, either out of jealousy or the smell of money. As I came to analyze the situation, Crooked Esper attempted to shoe my dear pony, but was too slow to draw. I went back to the train, and unsurprisingly, someone had already died. It was Mr. Inutile, and I kindly asked him to come back. Against all odds, Crooked Esper miraculously survived. We were all once more on the train and moving fast. After the obligatory stop at the outpost, Mr. Inutile decided to leave Crooked Boy and Clueless Boy behind. He rode the train with furious determination, making no stops, as if there were no tomorrow. He finally stopped at a town and allowed the zombies to eat him. I got him back on his feet. But short after that, he was on the ground again. He received alarming news, but fortunately, everything turned out fine. In other news, however, his mom took his phone from him and he abandoned the game. So long, Mr. Inutile. I kept going until I finally reached the bridge. I was surprised to see that Crooked Esper and his companion, Mr. Clueless, were still in the game, far behind. Despite their treacherous, crooked, and unpredictable ways, and their constant disbelief, I chose to share the victory with them. The good guy always makes it to the end.